And we're back. Game number 2 of our final best of 3 of the night. EG and Alliance in an in-house grudge match showdown. And EG hit Big Brother in the nose in game 1. Alliance going with something a little unorthodox, drafting a pocket strat. And, you know, it wasn't just an all-over draft. I mean, they really did have a plan because I've seen them execute that plan before. Granted, it was quite some time ago. Didn't work out, and EG took advantage of it big time, rolling up a pretty convincing win in game 1. Now looking to pull off the surprise upset with a game 2 victory that'll net them the entire series win. But Alliance looks like they're drafting a little bit more seriously this time. Call me crazy. Anyway, to break down the draft, serious or not, welcome in once again Ben Merlini-Wu. And yeah, Ben, I mean, it just they didn't kill towers, and that's kind of what they drafted for in game 1. Here in game 2, already we see a mag and a prophet. I would say they're done with trying new things.
Yep, they're in a super serious mode right now. And they gave Evil Geniuses Pugna, though, so we may, like, if Evil Geniuses get off to a good lead, they may be able to snowball, kind of like last game. So I think giving them that may come back to bite them, but we shall see. They opt for an early Venomancer pick. No Crystal Maiden in this game, surprisingly. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how they want to pair, what they want to pair up with that Nature's Prophet. I like this draft of EG, though. A lot of heroes that seem to be in folks' comfort zone. Pugna, of course, you say, as you mentioned, a great hero. Rubik, one of Fear's best. Would imagine he'll be on that. Jo, very comfortable on the Lifestealer if he is indeed going to be playing it. And so far, I mean, pretty mid-game centric, though. And I would say they ought to stay with that. What they're really lacking now is any decent form of initiation in terms of 5-on-5. I mean, they've got Lifestealer, a semi-decent Nyx Bomb in the Nyx Assassin if they want to engage off of his Vendetta and Pale. But Alliance has the big old hammer known as Magnus now with the Visage to go with it. They're going to have a ton of push. Visage, Veno, and Nature's Prophet can make towers disappear mighty fast.
And they have really good 5-man, too, and good laning. Visage and Veno, pretty difficult to deal with early. Lifestealer, depends on how well they can kite him. If they get if they can keep him distanced away with Venomancer, keeping him poisoned, Nature's Prophet with Sprouts through Magic Immunity, or even just Magnus with a straight up RP, they can handle the Lifestealer quite well. Especially if they have a medallion. Like Visage plus medallion birds on Lifestealer is just so devastating. And often a lot of teams lack the control for Lifestealer, and he just runs away and just kills everyone in a fight too, or just infests and waits until his rage cooldown. But with a lot of physical damage output from these heroes and some stuff that goes through BKB, they should be okay.
And yeah, I mean,
the PA banned out.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. It kind of caught me off guard, and that's why I kind of stuttered coming out of that. Seeing PA banned out. PA, obviously a hero that can blow up a Lifestealer. Also a nice answer to a Pugna. Pugna likes to skirt around the back of the fight for the most part, run forward, decrepify, drop another blast, and run away. PA certainly excels at jumping on his scrawny little butt. And Rubik, yeah, that's his name. Rubik as well, a hero that is susceptible to being bursted down by her before he can really add a lot of value to a team fight. We'll see what EG wants to snag up right now, though. I really do think...
Maybe a Clockwork, I think.
Yeah.
There's no Clockwork yet in this pool, which is very surprising considering how highly a lot of the other teams, including Fnatic and Alliance, have rated him in the draft. And is often first pick, if not first ban. Looks like, I think Timbersaw is a pretty good ban too. He's just a very annoying hero to deal with. They don't really have any lockdown too. Evil Geniuses could also go with the Storm Spear. I don't think they're going to go with the mid, but they potentially could and put Pugna in the side lane. I don't think PA is that scary for them because if he jumps on anybody, you just decrep and then just own her. So and if she gets BKB, you can defensively decrep. She's kind of scary with magnets and power, but she's fairly easy to shut down in the laning phase and just limit her farm through map control with the Nyx Assassin.
Still waiting on this 5th pick to come out, and Loda, obviously the remaining member of Alliance who needs his hero, banning out the PA. I mean, again, you look at EG's lineup, it seems like a fairly mid-game oriented lineup. PA, of all the agility carries that can scale exceptionally well late, she can hit her stride very early, especially she got some minor buffs coming up in 6.79 or looking back to 6.79, I should say. And she's just a hero that I think EG doesn't want to deal with. And I mean, I'm just trying to kind of think how I know these players very well, obviously Alliance and Evil Geniuses work with them in some ways and outside of casting them and knowing them personally. And what I'm thinking is going on here is, EG took that win in game 1, says, okay, Alliance was experimenting. Wow, yeah, they are going to go with Chen. This is kind of jives with what I was going to say. Then they go, okay, we took that win. Alliance still doesn't want to lose this series. They're going to go with a traditional Alliance lineup, and we know that they're in better game shape than we are. And that's not a knock to EG. It's just reality. Alliance has been playing together, the world champions. And EG knows that to get a win against an all-out playing super serious Alliance, they probably need to get it early. They don't want to take a game where Alliance can really put their movement to use over the course of 60 minutes as opposed to 20 or 30. So you pick up the Chen, you pick up the Pugna, you pick up the Lifestealer, all three very powerful heroes that can hit their peak early. You look in Alliance and go, okay, they've got some push themselves, but now we're going to ban out the PA, as that's a hard farming carry that Alliance likes to go to for Loda, who can be problematic if she gets a good start. Wouldn't see a Midas, probably just see the standard phase drums, BKB. That could shut down the early aggression we have built into our lineup, and the Chin pickup fits with that perfectly.
Yeah, it really does. Let's see, Pada has been banned out. What other heroes are they going to put for Loda? Gyrocopter is probably the most standard and safe pick. It's decent anti-push too. It has magical damage, so it doesn't get completely countered by Pugna's Decrepify, unlike a hero like PA. I think if they're going to draft that, if they run out of time, they have 8 seconds left, so they are definitely running out of time. Other heroes, I don't know, none off the top of my head. Alchemist is like okay. No, they randomed, I believe.
Did they?
I'm not exactly sure. I did see it hit 0-0-0. So,
I've actually got a funny story about that, and I'm not going to say which team it was, but I was asked not to publicly share all the details. But there was a game dating back a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to say which one, where there was a surprise pick that both of us was just like, wow, I guess they're trying something new, and it actually was a random because they ran out of time. And that team that actually randomed that hero actually went on to win that game. And that happened in D2L group stage plays. So it does happen in professional level Dota.
Yeah, sometimes you just run out of time. I mean, I'm surprised that they ran out of time because Evil Geniuses does not have a ridiculously novel lineup, and neither does Alliance. So maybe they did pick it though. Did it go to 0-0? I think you can still pick when it goes to 0-0.
Yeah,
you have like 1 second when it hits that mark. So I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, it doesn't work out like terribly versus our lineup. The only problem is like Decrepify owns Omni Slash, which is a pretty big deal. But Jug is a decent all-around hero.
Yeah, Jug's certainly going to give them the ability to fight very early on. And I'll tell you what's weird about this. One way or the other, I think, like you look at EG, and I stand by what I said. I think that they're planning to win or lose this game between 0 and 30. I don't think they want it to go any later than that. They want to really get an advantage that way. Certainly the Chin pick helps them out in that regard. But Alliance, basically, they have the Magnus, and with the Prophet who can go late and begin to build DPS and so on, they just have so much push, man. Coming out from Visage, Prophet, Veno, and now Juggernaut's Healing Ward. If they can take a fight or two against EG, they're just going to be able to clear towers just as fast as EG can. This is push on push.
Yeah, I think if they really wanted to push that, they would have gotten a Lone Druid for Admiral Bulldog, and like it's still decent push though, and decent anti-push. Venomancer being very, very good at that with his wards.
30 seconds to battle.
And it looks like both teams going to stay on their relative sides of the river. Let's take a look at who's handling who. No surprise to see S4 handling the magnificent Magnosaurus, setting up shop in mid. We're going to have Hawkeye playing on our Flying Wonder. That's Visage, Nature's Prophet. No surprise whatsoever to see him on, played by Admiral Bulldog, I should say, who, yeah, I mean, he's an all right Prophet. You could say that. EGM will be handling our Venomancer. Juggernaut going to be farmed by Loda. On the other side of the river, we've got Fear playing on the Chin this time. Rubik, traditionally a Fear hero, going to be handled by Fog. Fog certainly quite good at Rubik as well. Jo going to be playing on the Lifestealer with Pugna, played by MSS. He'll certainly have the level advantage going to work here in mid. And Nyx Assassin will be played in the off lane by Universe.
Yeah, pretty interesting lineup from Alliance. So, Aki actually starting off mid, and we see Chen get in this scout out bottom. He knows what the lanes are, and looks like Aki may run into Chen. Is he going to be able to block the spawn in time? No.
Yep, spawn comes up, and Fear is going to spot out Ake as he rotates through. Ake keeping an eye on things. And Fear seems pretty confident. Yep, going to go ahead and grab his Centaur. Grab it and run just in case there was any reprisal. Not going to be so. So taking a look at how these early lanes are shaping up, Merlini, who do you give the advantage to?
It depends on what they want to do with Chen. If they just want to play passive and farm, I think that Alliance has the upper edge in that point because the sooner they can get the RP and Arcane Blink on Magnus, the better it is for them. But at the same time, EG, they really need to hit level 6 with Nyx Assassin as well as decently high levels with Chen as well as Rubik. But it looks like EG is already on the move. There is a smoke from Fear on top trying to deal with Admiral Bulldog. Admiral Bulldog actually has boots first, but still he's in a very, very dangerous position. He is level 2. And are they going to be able to find him? He is definitely very, very wary right now.
Yep, he's hanging around, but he's past the river. They're going to have to go very quick, and Bulldog, this is what he excels at, and one of the reasons he is so good at what he does. He manages to get as much as he can, but he very rarely allows himself to be caught out. Fog, see, got to chase him back, and the Centaur had the smoke pop there. So Bulldog able to dodge the bullet at least for a little while.
Yeah, very important to dodge that smoke, and can waste a lot of Fear's time. It wastes 100 gold from him too. Very important to control the early game damages. I think that EG has a slightly early game better lineup when they're not try on try. I think Alliance's try on try is much better. But with the laning phase breaking down the way it is, I think that EG will get a slight edge if they can get some kills.
Jail certainly enjoying his farm. He's at 11-3 so far here in mid. S4 is actually being bullied around a little bit by MSS. MSS at 11 CS to Magnus's 8. We can see really good harass, really effective harass coming out of him onto S4 down at bottom. Universe quite a ways forward. He has yet to soak up a single point in experience. And Alliance doing a great job of zoning him out. Now, a underleveled Nyx Assassin, not exactly the most useful hero in the world. This is a problem EG is going to need to correct really soon.
Yeah, it's really important for him to hit 6 as soon as possible, and I think Alliance knows that too. Like, without him, they don't really have that much map control. I mean, they can push, but Alliance already has decent anti-push. They don't have the best map control-y heroes, though. They don't have, like, a Nyx Assassin to make people scared for their lives. I guess Juggernaut can kind of do that, but when you have, like, the Lifestealer and a Nyx Assassin, you're not particularly scared of them.
And we can see Ake trying to do some pulling here.
Tower is under attack.
And we'll be able to clean up a little bit here, get some experience. In the meantime, this Nyx Assassin, as you mentioned, well, the thing about Universe's role with this EG composition, too, is they really don't have too many stuns. They've got a telekinesis, and that's kind of it. So they really need him to have not just level 6 for Vendetta. They need him to have max level Impale so they have some way to disjoint Alliance's chain of initiation when these fights start happening.
Yeah, unless like we can maybe like some really clutch micro by Fear on creeps. He's almost level 3. It looks like we may see the first push of the game begin right now.
Yep, going to come on out. And Bulldog, though, doesn't have the mana for another Nature's Call, but yeah, they're actually not going to be able to push too comfortably off of this. Bulldog being able to deal with it quite well. He'll be able to TP out if he wants. Are they going to dive it? They're going to move the Ursan, or the Hellbear Smasher, excuse my incorrectness. And trying to get what damage
Blizzard
they can.
will not forgive you for that.
But, yeah, they're going to go ahead and force the glyph out. Bulldog has yet to leave.
Yeah, notice they use their glyphs very preemptively, though. That's the thing about Alliance. They use it very, very early. It also, like, it's nice because it comes down off cooldown very, very early. And Universe forces TP out already.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and cut the creeps here. Top tower still sitting at about half health. A little bit better, or a little bit lower, I should say, than what Alliance has been able to do here, but that's not going to last for long. So they're just going to go ahead and trade tier 1s.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad for... I don't think that EG is getting way more out of it than Alliance. I don't think Alliance is getting way more out of it. Just fairly even on both sides. Unless they don't get the tower.
Yeah.
Which is still a possibility.
Rotation to 2. Universe finally drinking in some experience. Hits level 2. Very desperately needed level 2. And yeah, they're going to be able to hold the tower just outside of deny range and keep it together. We can see Fog is going to go ahead and move over towards mid. MSS sitting at level 6.5. He's done quite well for himself here. He's got a null talisman, his CS at 25. Wasn't able to keep S4 down quite as well as he did in the first few minutes after the bottle came out. S4, as we can see, did bottle up an invis, so he's sitting close to that, actually right on top of him at 25 CS as well. Juggernaut farming well and now going on Universe, but Fog there to chase him away.
And Jo can farm up so safely though. Like look at his position. He's like right outside of T2 and he is just not scared at all. He doesn't even have Infest yet, but he will have it up now. He has phase boost and 1300 gold, but we've seen Jo get off to a really good start before, but not really have that much of it. Not have that much of an impact in the mid game. So hopefully he goes an appropriate build. I think if they want to push, he just goes drums and helps with the push. If he wants to farm up, he can still get a Midas and just play the passive game there. I think it's better for them to push though, looking at their lineup.
Yeah, what I'm kind of keeping an eye on here is how early MSS is gonna want to get active, and S4 is actually gonna pop his invis and find a double damage rune. Now he is level 7, and never mind, he is gonna go ahead and I was gonna say with that invis active, if he bottles the double damage, he might try to make something happen, but not gonna be the case. He's happy to just go back to lane, still looking for his arc boots, about 200 gold short of that right now.
Yep, he just needs to farm it up, and they have him like decently well protected with his observer ward, and Chen's failed smoking on top. He kind of needs to catch up on experience, so I don't think he expects any pressure, and he can always just skewer away. No big deal there.
Everyone's just kind of farming, man. 7 minutes in, and we have had even very few attempts at kills, let alone actual kills. Not a single kill on the board. Pure mechanics, who's winning? Looks like it's going to be the advantage you would expect, with EG, with the lone tower being essentially the only difference between these two teams right now. The experience, though, is actually well in favor of Alliance.
Yeah, they had to commit a lot of resources to pushing together, and they're like dual creeping too. Visage and Venomancer are just using wards and clearing out the big camp for some extra experience. But CS is pretty even, 46 on Juggernaut, 46 on the Lifestealer, very close to 40 for both the Magnus and the Pugna, so still very close game.
Jo going with the drums build, no surprise there. Phase and drums now complete on him. Bulldog still looking to bounce around. He's about 400 gold from completing his Midas, only a set of brown boots and some tree eaters in his back pocket. Fear has picked up his headdress, about 300 gold away from his buckler on the way to a mechanism. So the item progression is taking place all across the board. Just still not a whole lot else to report. Looks like MSS will have his boots up one way or the other, whether he goes phase or arcanes. He'll have those up at about 100 gold.
Yeah, I think that EG is probably waiting for a mech, and Alliance is still waiting for S4's blink before they really want to make something happen. They're more than happy to just farm it up until EG brings it to them, because the pressure is kind of on them. Like, Lifestealer's like good and all, but like late game, he doesn't really do that well unless the other person is like under farmed. Like in terms of even farm, he just fares like okay. It's not like a gyrocopter who just scales incredibly, ridiculously well with items.
I actually really like the way LS is going to match up against a late game Jugger if it does come down to a pure farm fest. However, a late game Jugger plus a late game Nature's Prophet, that's what I don't particularly like about that matchup. And I agree with you. I think Jo, they're going to need to get mileage out of Jo before 30 minutes. Doesn't mean they have to necessarily win, but 8.5 minute Midas out on Bulldog. Bulldog's going to get his items. He's going to show up with a Hex sometime between 25 and 35 minutes. That's just what he does. And when he does, that's when things get real chancy for Jo.
Yeah, it gets real chancy for their whole entire team, actually.
Yep.
And second push coming on.
You're in mid. We see the ward go down. Loda actually picked up a Midas as we were speaking, so he's going to be looking for more of a late game impact, and that's going to open the door quite effectively for EG to capitalize. I mean, they're going to notice
it's nice versus Chen creeps, though. It's not
point.
a complete loss, but and they're still getting towers in the meantime, so it's not that bad for Alliance. They're expected to lose out in the early game just because, again, Magnus not very useful without Blink, and Pugna just very good at level 7, Chen very good at level 5, 6, and 7, and Alliance just needs a little bit more time to come online. Nature's Prophet already has his Midas too, so they're doing very well in the gold department. Gold is actually 0, even though EG is up 1 tower on them.
Yeah, that's actually...
XP difference is huge.
Yep. And Midas is only going to exacerbate that. It's easy to forget that a Midas doesn't just help you with gold.
Who forgets about Midas?
They forget about the experience because they hear holla holla get Dala, build mini Midas. That's now the state of Dota, especially in pub play. But anyway, 0-0. We're at 10 minutes, man, and we have had hell. We've seen very little health even harassed off of heroes, let alone anything else.
Yep. Nyx Assassin still level 3 though. That's really the big thing for EG. They can't keep any sort of map control with him being at level 6. Like, how are they supposed to find opportunities? Maybe like Smoking as 5, but at best they'll pick off 1, maybe 2 heroes, and Juggernaut can like just spin TP away from that. So it's like pretty risky for them and time consuming to scout out for kills right now, and I can completely understand why they're playing passively. mainly just waiting for Nyx. And Alliance, I can understand why they're playing passively too. They have Midases, the pressure's not on them. They don't have the early game lineup.
Oh, okay.
And looks like there was an RP in mid. I didn't actually see that.
Yep, me either. Don't worry. It's 10 minutes in, and we finally get a kill, and guess what? Both the casters miss it. Hashtag fire AC, hashtag fire Merlini. I was watching top because they did try to gank out.
I was watching top too.
Yep, trying to gank out Bulldog and EGM. And anyway, Fear did pick up his mechanism in the interim, so that's probably going to be the word go. And off of that kill, did Mac finish his blink? He's very close, so both teams going to be ready to hang and bang here in just a minute or two.
Yep, scary, scary life for EG. I don't think they got enough out of the first 11 minutes. Like, ideally, you'd want to be, like, 3 towers up, not just 1 tower up, but it looks like they're pushing their third right now. Or this will be their second tower up on Alliance, but it's their third tower that they're taking down.
And EGM did find his own level 6, by the way. Ake's hanging out in...
Oh, Aki must be lagging. He just lost his familiars and he just summoned them, which is really unfortunate for him because it's not going to be up for another 2 minutes.
Yep.
I was watching. I was like, man, he just let his familiars die. But it makes sense if he's lagging.
Well, while we have a moment, I want to thank everyone once again for being a part of the show. Our third and final best of 3. EG leads Alliance 1-0 here and looking to pull off the upset. Alliance remains unbeaten in D2L play. And if they manage to take a win here, they're going to improve to 5-0, but they're going to have to win 2 games in a row over EG to do it. EG wanting to take a quick win, drafted a composition to do so, and Alliance is kind of giving them the open door for it. The 2 Midas pick up. Obviously, they're going to have an advantage the later the game goes. And EG pressuring this top tier 2. A lot could be determined by any fight that happens to break out here while we wait for the reconnect out of Ake. Want to encourage you guys to check out D2L.gg. Again, that's the website. And when you first hit the landing page, you can pick East or West, depending on what your taste happens to be or what maybe you didn't get a chance to watch over the preceding days and weeks. You can catch all of our VODs, lots of info all about the tournament, up-to-date standings, up-to-date schedule. You name it, you can find it right at D2L.gg. And, of course, on Facebook and Twitter, if you want daily updates, no matter what your social media fix happens to be, at D2LGG is the Twitter address. And on Facebook, same thing, D2LGG. And while we're dropping all that nonsense, how about we go ahead and let Merlini drop his as well, my friend. Plug yourself. Let him track you down and learn from you.
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the same, /Merlini Dota. I also stream fairly often on my personal stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Merlini Dota.
To move the camera away from the teleport sound. Now, there you go. How you like that? How you like that, Connie? How you like that? Uh-huh.
I had my thing there. I had to move it away too.
Yeah, I like that. All right. I'll leave you guys alone. 11 and a half minutes in, and looks like Ake is still actually it's not Ake now. It's our Venomancer EGM out. So hopefully it won't be a persistent problem. And yeah, I mean, taking a look at the way things have shaped up, as you said, Merlini, it didn't seem like EG got enough out of the early laning phase. In fact, you look at the gold earned now. It's actually Alliance's favor, which is certainly not where EG wants to be. And the minuses do have something to do with that. They experience well in Alliance's favor. If you're in EG's captain share, let's pretend that you're Fear for a moment. What do you do other than push the tier 2? Because that's what he's already decided to do.
You finish taking that tier 2, you take out a T1 on bottom, you control their jungle with Nyx, get him level 6, and then take out Roshan, and then continue to apply pressure without getting caught by RP. That's pretty much the biggest thing that you can do. You can also just not apply pressure on the towers, and you can just pick off Nature's Prophet and or any other heroes that are split pushing and limit their farm that way.
And Glyph's going to be popped. The tower at 140 HP. Looks like EG should be able to take this, but not without being contested. Here comes Loda, going to blade Fury in. MSS going to be caught with the Gale. There's Chin's heal, but the tower, actually Pugna did get the kill on that, so EG pursued out. MSS right now under cover of an Invis rune. Might continue to go looking. S4 EGM all there. EG will be able to retreat without a single loss. Up, nope, never mind. Oh, actually, did he just accidentally skewer MSS?
I think so.
If he had shockwaved immediately after and killed him, that would have been the best moment in D2L history.
Yeah, what in the world was that skewer?
Seriously, like
Maybe he got blocked. I wasn't actually watching him. I saw the skewer, but if you get blocked by a second, then you know that someone's on you.
Yep. Oh, that would have been great if he had done it, because it looked like he shockwaved the creeps right afterwards. If he had shockwaved like as soon as the animation finished and killed him, it would have been absolutely hilarious. And I would have had the camera there, but you didn't make my day, S4. Anyway, it's still hard to believe. 12 and a half minutes in, and still just 1 kill on the board. We're losing. There are more towers down than there are kills in this game.
Yeah. They're okay to play the farm game, though. Now, S4 has a blink. Now they are looking for opportunities. Now, EG does not know that he has a blink and may clump up and just give him a huge lead right now. So they have to be super scared. They know that Fog's up there. Maybe send an illusion up there to scout, or they can just circle up the hill. Looks like they're very close to getting the smoke pop, though.
And unfortunately, we've got another pause. Going to hope it's not representative of a chronic issue on the side of Alliance. And Fear gives him the winky eye because, you know.
Loda losses a healing ornament. That's a decently big deal.
Problem, Loda says. And EGM continuing to have some lag issues. As I understand it, they're all in their team house, so not sure why it would be affecting one and not the other, but one could hope it's something that can... I blame Lux. One can hope it's something that could be sorted out momentarily. I've already done all the plugging for social media, all my typical time fillers, so... I can remind you that we got another packed 12 days, 12 or 11 now. I actually want to say it's 11. 11 days of Dota ahead of us leading up to the Thanksgiving break. We will be taking a couple of weeks off before our playoffs to make room for MLG, Columbus, and, of course, for DreamHack. All of us really looking forward to that. And but over the next 11 days, we're going to be playing through our entire Western schedule to the tune of at least 2 best-of-3s a day, 7 days a week. And days like today, occasionally we're going to pile them up and have 3 best-of-3s. I think we might have one more day where we have 3 best-of-3s coming up next week, but could be wrong. I'll have to consult our scheduling genie, also known as Gianni. We also have the Eastern schedule that's going to be completely finished out coming up next weekend. That'll be on Sunday and Monday, and that'll be another nice little marathon session for us. I did the math earlier today. It's last weekend, Merlini, we did 10 best-of-3s in 36 hours. I want to say we're doing 12 best-of-3s in like 60 hours coming up this weekend.
Fun. More Dota.
You know it, man. Who needs sleep? That's what Monster Energy's for.
At least Western Dota is generally shorter, though, so it's not the. We had some hour-long games, dude. Those are brutal.
We saw
when
some
you're in the middle of a marathon.
We saw some hour-long throws. I mean, call it what it is. We saw some teams, farm up for 20 minutes after the game seemed to be over and then throw a game away at minute 52. And those are the worst. Those are I mean, and just speaking objectively, just as a caster, I mean, it's not that we don't love those long games whenever they're competitive. It's just it's almost painful to watch teams do that because we have access to things those teams don't. We have, our handy dandy gold graph, we have our experience graph. We could look at these things and see it happening. And a lot of times teams don't realize just how deep a hole they're digging for themselves. And it is painful to watch, especially when it's a game they played so well in leading up to that. We see S4 and company smoked up into the dire side jungle. Only one target in the vicinity, that's Fear. They are going to try to collapse on mid. They could find MSS and Fogged.
Pugnum ward already dropped. It just expired, though. They have a couple of seconds to go on middle if they don't want to deal with the Pugnum ward, but a couple of seconds is all they have left because smoke just popped.
And MSS still hanging around. Let's see if he wants to drop that bad boy down. 3 points into it, so it's fairly damaging even at this early stage of the game. We can see him trying to keep the lane popped out. Alliance actually seems hesitant, and this isn't something you normally see out of them. They usually have a really good idea of what they want to do whenever they get into a position like that. Instead,
they're just waiting for them to pop out, like a blink skewer back, an easy kill into a tower. But MSS, very good at that position, very wary.
And in the meantime, Bulldog continuing to find his farm. Looks like he will be getting a Necro Book.
Nyx is finally level 6 with Arcane Boots.
All right, Universe. Took you a while to get there, brother. Minute 14. Let's see if you can make things happen. He's actually almost level 7. He's caught up on us a little bit. And a lot of pinging out. Still a lot of hesitancy on both sides. Looks like Alliance is flirting with the idea of cresting the lip of the stairs. And, yep, they're going to go for it. Moving ahead, Loda is empowered. There's a stomp from the Centaur from Fear. Tried to delay things a little bit. That's a very nice spell for Fog to steal to try to shove this out. Loda's looking for an Omni Slash, and we'll find it. Fog blown up immediately. In the meantime, chasing him down. RP's going to catch MSS and some creeps. Fear not caught with it, and he skewers him up to the high ground. MSS going to try to TP away, and will make it away because of Chin's heal. Fear, because of that, will end up trading himself. So that's going to be 2 down for 1 as EGM did die and miss it. Here comes Jo, though, coming out of Universe. Universe showing off the fresh level 6 as he came in under cover of Vendetta. And just like that, it took us a while to get more than 1 kill on the board, but we're split right down the middle now, 3 apiece.
Not a good trade for Alliance right there. If they had killed a Pugna, it would have been a good trade, but he actually skewered him up the hill, so his teammates couldn't finish him off. I thought the shotgun was going to hit, but very timely heal coming up from Chen, and very nice rotation coming in from the Nake's bomb. And Loda ended up dying is a pretty big deal too. He did manage to spend his gold right before he died, so he actually is very close to a scepter, just 800 gold. Use him Midas once or twice, and there you go.
And everyone kind of goes back to farming for the moment. Universe is drinking in the experience. After that engagement, he's actually almost level 9 now. If he can get level 2 Vendetta up to make up for how slow a
He
start
might kill top. Universe is actually out of mana.
Yep. Hung around a little bit too long. S4 is there to skewer him back. Carapace is actually going to stun him out. And in the meantime, Pugna gets a tower kill, so they end up losing Universe, but they'll take a tower for a hero any day of the week.
Maybe not a tower and a hero for a tower, though.
Yep, let's see. And yep, in mid. Like you said, Alliance taking a tower of their own. And they're going to smoke up right to the side of the Roche pit. Looks like they might want to try to collapse on EG.
Nyx has his Blink Dagger, so even though Universe had a relatively poor start in terms of experience, he's doing very well in terms of items.
And here we go. Pugna Ward's down. MSS doing good damage with it. The Visage Familiar is doing good damage. Ake having his life drained out. MSS now being pursued by Loda. There's the Soul Assumption. One last auto attack will do it. And it looked like S4 thought about RP and thought better of it. They managed to track down MSS. Ake being body blocked by Treants right now.
Universe might pick off EGM right here.
And let's see. Universe coming in. Boom. Vendetta and the immediate blink away. Loda got to pass right by him. Treant's going to spot him out. And S4 there. Yep, just holding him in. Treant's there. And throws out the frustration impale. Looks like he wants to give this kill to S4. That's mean, S4. That's mean. Loda.
Really nice play.
Yep.
I thought they were going to have to blow Omni Slash for that.
Yep. I like the early Axe build on Juggernaut a lot. Gives him even more lethality in these early fights, but also tanks him up in a nice way. It's a nice way to transition to whatever you need out of that Juggernaut without sacrificing survivability in the mid game.
70-second cooldown is really nice for that too.
Yep, very much agreed. So following that exchange of towers and heroes, we can see Alliance has actually retaken the lead. They're at plus 1,000 gold. The experience remains heavily in their favor, and this is kind of what you were worried about when you looked at this EG lineup. They don't really have a lineup that can function well without having map control and without having a lot of steam. They are going to try to get that steam back, moving now into the Roche pit.
Yeah, and Loda doesn't need a battle here because he has Empower, and he is just going to hit massively hard. And they're doing Roshan. Do they actually know? I think that Loda suspects something's up.
Loda? Just poking around right now. Pugna completes his Scepter. Scepter's so good on Pugna.
Nature's Prophet needs to send one Treant in there to scout it out if they suspect. Oh, actually, they have the Visage Birds. They know what's up.
Yep. And they're just going to go. Are they going to sell out on it? Looks like they are. Live drain from MSS. Trying to contribute what he can with that Scepter up. No cooldown on it anymore. He's going to lay the ward in anticipation of a fight. And here comes Prophets. Drew is up. There's the Omni Slash on the high ground. Chin down just like that. Jo.
Fog stole it.
Oh, Fog did get it. And now there's an RP that's going to catch Fog and Jo. They're going to try to make their way out. Aegis popped off. Fog going to be blasted down as well. And the skewer following the Sprout coming out of Admiral Bulldog. Terrible exchange for EG. Alliance seizing control of the game now. Jo does manage to pick up a Skull Basher before he dies. He probably will be caught here. Yep, just going to rage a TP away. That's the right call to make. And back home he goes. Still nice exchange for Alliance. Obviously giving away the Roche entirely. Not what they wanted, but able to punish it pretty severely.
Yep. And RP pretty much only catching life steals though, because Rubik was already mid Omni Slash.
Fear and Jo poking their nose back out to the tier 2. Alliance warded off by the Glyph, so they take the win up. There's Universe, blinks in, gets the Impale off. Bulldog going to be mana burn. Can they get him? Jo's going to go ahead and open wounds, gets the kill there. Loda chasing down Universe. He has a Carapace if he needs it. Loda's just going to TP away. Not liking the situation he found himself in there.
Nice pick by Universe there, seizing that opportunity when they're retreating, and Admiral Bulldog not retreating with his team. He could have just backed off and then TP'd out, but thought he was safe there. And he's going for a Necro book build. I think this is pretty good. Nature's Prophet is a very adaptable hero. I mean, usually you get minus, but after that, Admiral Bulldog usually gets a 4-step versus a Clockwork. We saw Shadow Blade a lot, 6.78, but Necrobook, very good versus Anti-Push, very good versus Nyx Assassin too. Although Lifestealer can still infest that, it's very good at applying split pressure.
9-6, 15 kills in the 20-minute game. EG, a little bit of a turnaround there. We can see the gold dipping back down. Experience, though, remains a big factor, especially when you're talking two mid-game oriented teams. No real late-game, traditional late-game carry. I mean, both Jugger and the Lifestealer can
big
go.
Stack for Loda.
Yep. I was watching S4 stack this just a moment ago. And with that Empower, that drops very, very quickly. A little bit of XP leech, but for the most part, going to him. He's got his Yasha up already as well, plus now 1,100 gold in his back pocket.
I hope it's a Manta and not an SNY.
Have to wait and see. SNY has been built very commonly. This is where I wish I had Nahaz. I would love to see how many times SNY has been built compared to Manta Styles at 6.79. Someone tweet that at me. I'll check it in between games if we have a game 3, and I'll...
It's like the Victory Rapier. It's like the Victory SNY.
Victory Rapier is awesome because people who have the ticket get items. I think that is badass, personally.
They should have one for SNY too.
Did call it the Merlini SNY?
And get rares for it.
Nothing
get
but
items,
rares.
items ups.
And down at bottom, we're going to see them trading a tower for a tower. Loda's actually going to show up in time to try to prevent this. He's going to go right for the ward and going to be decrept. Love the decrep on the nether ward. Such a cute way to keep it alive in situations like that. Doing a little bit of extra damage, as we can see, but they're going to be able to save the tower.
Tower is dead.
Yep, and...
He's thinking about it, you can tell.
Yep, denied the tower. Oh, he actually had a haster, and he definitely was thinking about it, trying to figure out what the chances were of being caught with. And here we go. That's the chances. Fog finds out firsthand. S4 spins an RP just to get the solo
S4
kill.
does not hesitate. He might only hit one heroes, but he is just like does not hesitate at all. He's like, I see Rubik, boom, instant RP.
Exactly.
What in the world? Like a lot of players wait for like, I don't want to just get one hero, but S4 gives no cares in the world.
That gives no cares. That's a nice. I'm gonna start saying that because I always want to say it. I always want to say it the other way.
Universe about to own Admiral Bulldog.
Yep. Necro book
That
went
was
down.
a very fast Necro 3 usage.
Yep. And Jo gonna go ahead and take the creeps while he can. Happy to
Easiest
do so.
200 gold of his life.
Yep. Oh, actually, he's gonna be galed, and Loda's right there. Oh, Jo, the greed.
Okay.
Oh,
JK about the easiest 200 gold.
The greed.
Most costly 100 gold of his life.
Yep. And I love the Necro War, the sound it makes whenever it deals damage. It just sounds such like a violent, unpleasant sound. Loda will be netted, but moving out through it, meching through it. EG wants to engage. EGM caught out and telekinesis. There's the Blade Fury stolen by Fog. S4's hanging around the edge, but he wishes he had the RP now. Probably could have caught 3 there if he could. MSS going to be caught with the Gale that time. Loda rushing it down along with him. Still no RP. S4 just chasing him down.
He got away with the defensive discrepify and the send back from Shen. Nice play.
And S4, yep, kind of wishing he hadn't spin it on the solo Rubik. Whatevs, they're looking to take a tower off of that. No Lifestealer around, at least not for another 10 seconds. Not a whole lot EG can do to stop
Loda's
it.
ultimate and S4's are up at almost the same time, so they can definitely push this if they wait like 10 seconds about. Necro 3 is up in 10 seconds too, so they have all 3 cooldowns up. Looks like they're just going to bounce.
Yep, playing it very calmly. We will see if Vlad's pick up from Fear, so looking to help everyone out. They're going to smoke on up and load the gun, so to speak, as Universe takes on a passenger. They're going to try to catch the retreating Alliance.
They want Magnus, but they're probably going to get EGM.
Yeah. Easy kill. And, you know, that's one of those kills you're happy to have it, but, and you phrased it this way earlier, and I think it's a very important point to make. It's like you want to kill, but killing a Veno, he's a support who's going to die a lot in pretty much every game anyway. He's not a Magnus. He's not.
Yes, he built a Manta. Yes.
Good job, Loda. Making us happy. That helps me forgive him for his Midas.
Yeah, Midas good versus Chen, man.
Yeah, that's the excuse I hear. With all the Necro books, you may as well. Just go ahead and give in to all the trends.
There's always an excuse for Midas, man.
Because it's awesome. That's
because I'm trying to clear creeps for Omni Slash, duh.
It's the same excuse I use for why I make motorcycle sounds whenever I'm pushing my cart around the shopping market. Because it's awesome, and that's the only excuse I do need. In the meantime,
big RP from S4.
EG
needs to hit one.
Pushing in, got the tower down to about half health. This push potential still not letting up, but I mean, Magnus is just such a deterrent. I mean, just the threat of that RP, like you were talking about, enough to send EG scurrying for their side of the river.
That spell is just so scary. Like, they're split up too. Like here, 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 here. That was their spread right there, and they still like, well, I'm not even take that risk.
Right.
And they just backed off. Also, the Visage Burst came in. He could have stunned MSS like right here, and then like a blink skewer back. That would have been a very compromising position for EG as well. But the birds actually just went to go kill the wards instead of stunning him out.
All the ultimates off CD. Looks like they're ready to make a fight of it here in mid again. MSS gets down the nether ward. Very predictable spot. It wouldn't surprise me. Yep, now they know where it is. AK's going. Yep, see it ping down immediately, and there go the birds. And tough to do. I mean, the range on it is huge. So you could have put that in a much better defensive area. As it stands, Alliance takes a free tower.
Easy gold.
And
not as easy as that Necrobook gold, though.
And we see Prophet heading back up the top. This game looking like it's potentially going to be run away with by Alliance.
It's all like one. If he hits one big RP, the game's pretty much over from then. But until then, it's like relatively close. EG's trailing by like 7,500 gold, but that's not insurmountable. They did manage to snag the last Roshan. It could respawn in like 30 seconds to 3.5 minutes. But one big RP and they are just boned.
Here comes Universe, locked and loaded. He's their sole source of reliable initiation. They're all grouped up. If he gets a Blink Impale and then an
There's the
Infest.
book 3, he has to back off.
Yeah, good point. Universe
Dire's top tower is under
getting it about a third time. Loaded just slowly chipping away at the tower using the Blade Fury.
And
And
they got a
the
healing ward. That's a pretty good spell to have, actually.
Yep. And S4 still looking to make something happen. And there's going to be a Sprout onto the creep. And both teams just dancing around it right now. We can see the Necro creeps poking around as well. Those are some tanky-ass creeps there. Necro 3 pretty strong.
They're very strong.
Tower still sitting at 230 HP. S4 right up front. Has
The
his,
tower's so low. How are they going to defend this?
Yep.
They have a glyph, but like
I believe the answer is they're not. And now with the tower down, and look at... Oh, here we go. There's a nice impale. They're going to engage out. S4 has his blink put on cooldown. Will they get him? They will. Cleaned up by Jo. And there's the Omni Slash. That'll be enough to clean Fear up, but he has to engage back out. Jo going to town. Another good impale out of Universe. They're really getting a lot of mileage out of him. Loaded being live trade. Cleaned up. EG lost the tower trying to take the fight. And Fog, though, likely to die. Will die to one last auto attack. MSS next on the list using live terrain to keep himself alive a little bit longer, only delaying the inevitable. Bulldog almost dies. Telling you, man, Scepter on Pugna is so stupidly good. He basically just tanked 2.5 heroes worth of damage there.
wow, that's without RP. Like,
Yeah.
And EG, I guess it wasn't that bad, like 3 for 4. But if they actually get RP up, they are just so absolutely devastated. Looking at Roshan, it's going to respawn very, very quickly, actually.
Yep.
About a minute's time, but they're just content with T3. They still have RP. Well, why not? Go for the gold.
And here we go. Universe going to come back in. Impale actually dodged that time by S4. And here comes another creep wave. They might just go ahead and back off. It
I
appears.
thought he was about to pull some like sick ass play, like Nyx right here, Chen right here, S4 right here. I thought he was gonna like blink and then skewer both of them back. Oh my god! I was like, oh, is that really gonna happen?
Is this real life?
Yeah. But he got scared.
Got it feared. And Roche is back up. So we'll see if and when they're going to check on into that. Alliance very, very clearly in control of this game right now. And EG down to just one outer tier tower. The tier 3 took a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, they didn't get enough out of the early game. It's like they have an early game lineup, but they took like, what, 3 towers in like 12 minutes or like 2 towers in like 10 minutes. It's like, it's decent, but it's not enough for a team like Alliance. If you go all out in the early game, you got to go all out in the early game.
Yep. Visage picks up the medallion, so Ake going to be able to add some armor reduction in the next Roche attempt. There's that Abyssal, though. Yeah,
nice.
That's what we knew. I mean, going late against Jugger. I mean, at this point, you know, when the Abyssal comes out now, to me, it's all about Bulldog. He's got 4,000 gold, though, so he's going to have a hex stupid fast.
It's all about S4, man. If he abyssals and then puts his team in a compromising position for RP, again, it is just over. Turn around with the cleave with the Omni Slash. It is just, I mean, I'm just waiting for that to happen and just the game to be blown wide open. But until that happens, EG still has a very decent shot. Looks like they may pick off S4. Oh wait, no, he's invid. Do they have a gem on either hero?
Up, they know where he is. Out comes Jo, gonna be engaged. Oh, RP does land. It was canceled for a second. Jo eating a lot of damage. The Omni Slash and the Scepter just goes on for days. Jo will be picked off by the Soul Assumption out of EGM. MSS next on the list, going to drop the Necro Creeps, but Fogged dies on the high ground. MSS takes the low road as he is sent back to the well the hard way. That's going to be a free Roshan. That is effectively your GG.
Yeah, and I mean, that was like a 2-man RP too, so I mean, it doesn't even matter if he hits a big one or not. They're really far ahead at this point. The Medallion on the Lifestealer, very nice too during Omni Slash. He wasn't actually able to use his Abyssal during that fight too. Very timely invis pickup by Magnus. He was like practically on top of them when they jumped out.
Yep. Deso was actually the choice for Bulldog, and why not? I mean, all of EG's... All of EG's hopes and fears were pinned on Jo, and just being able to burst him down. Only 12 armor on him at this stage, not really all that impressive, especially if load is 19. And down up there, yeah, we're gonna glyph it.
Only 400 damage on Juggernaut.
Oh, that's all.
420 with Empower and DD.
Needs one good blade dance, and he could probably blow up 3/5 of EG's team. And Jo gonna come on in. He's gonna rage and try to fight. He's gonna be sprouted in. And Lincoln's will be popped. He is going to be Abyssal and Life Drain, so they should be able to get Loda here. Aegis is popped. Jo and Fest comes back out. They're looking to defend for their lives. Bulldog next on the list. Another good Life Drain from Pugna. Universe being forced out as well. S4 has RP up at 18. Won't have the mana for it, though, at least not right now. Jo, in the meantime, continuing to just go to work. Loda going to spin the Blade Fury one more time, trying to trace down those supports. Fog eats the Soul Assumption. Still not enough to clean him up. Loda, though, earned up. And one last little Life Drain sends him back and down for quite a while. 70-some seconds. Jo very close to dead. That will probably be it. And Fear still hanging around. Just heard an RP go off.
Oh, the RP Blink Dota. Oh, S4.
Blink
Son of
Dota.
Magnus.
And EGM still up along with S4. Let's see, are they going to go back in? Nope. Doesn't look well. EGM says the hell with it. He will. Gonna land the Gale and the birds are there. Decrep and the stun on the MSS. Caught him twice. Little damage over time action. They did manage to bring down one set of racks. The ranged racks still stand, though.
Rarely do you see a Venomancer get a farm up a Shadow Blade.
Dire's middle tower is under
Must be
attack.
nice.
You obviously don't play Dota on matchmaking, do you? Tell me you don't see Shadow Blade on Venomancer. You out your mind, son. 22-15. And this game, yeah, I mean, EG trying to defend it, but well, I mean, we saw there, in all fairness, though, just how survivable Jo could be in the right situation. But the difference maker is MSS. I'm telling you, man, Scepter, no mana cost, or not no mana cost, but lower mana cost or low-ish mana cost, plus Life Drain with no cooldown with Scepter, it's just silly. Like, you just can't kill him, and he can kill you over and over again.
That's why you need Basher, man. Or Omni Slash. Invincible.
Lincoln's.
Easy.
Lincoln's makes
Lincoln's is good too, but I mean, or not good. It's not good versus Life, or it's not good versus Pugna, who can just cast his ultimate and then cast it right after. But it's still good enough.
And looks
Good
like
versus Abyssal versus during spin.
Alliance right now, again, in total control. S4 has picked up a BKB.
They really don't like picking up gems though. I don't know why. Like Venomancer has one this game, but they're just like usually very, very late on picking up. I think a lot of other teams pick it up way earlier than they do.
Yeah. And I think it was the Necro Creeps that actually set S4's blink on cooldown when he whiffed that RP earlier. I saw a couple of little nippers biting at his heels whenever I heard the sound. So good effective play there, using the Necro to your advantage. Hastrian will be bottled up by S4, and he'll certainly be happy to make use of that. In the meantime,
Maybe a double rune? Nope. Like haste plus invis, that's like almost guaranteed initiation. Actually, does Pugna have book 3? Yeah, he does. This poor range Rax is just gonna fall. 64 HP, no DJ.
Alliance slowly but surely creeping down this middle lane, and a game 3 looking to be very, very likely. Bulldog sitting on 1,800 gold. Let's take a look at the buybacks, see who's where. S4 has one, Visage has one, MSS has one, as does EGM. So at this point, unless EG farms up a little bit of gold, quick, fast, and in a hurry, likely this is going to be their last stand.
Look at
especially
backdoor
for
with the
Jo.
Visage bats. Easy Rax. Can't do anything about it.
Dire's top tower
And
is
up
under attack.
here, S4 doing the victory RP dance. I've yet to see him do it. I've seen a player do that before, and and accidentally forget to hit hold position or cancel the animation and actually go off before. But never S4, although he's one of the worst to do it. And still looking for that RP. Nyx Assassin might go ahead and loop around. He's got Vendetta up. And is he going to go for it? Nope. Just going to stay right in the
gem,
base.
so
Yeah.
it's really difficult.
Tower slowly being whittled down. MSS trying to hold the line as best he can. Not so fortunate. And there's the 2-3 going to go down. They're going to try to come out on it. And Jo immediately Omni Slash, eating all of that damage through his Rage. Rage going to be coming off cooldown right now. Lincoln's pop, but Jo going to be RP'd out. And that'll be that. MSS part of that as well. Off goes the Poison Nova. Lotus still up and fighting. Give AK a double kill and a killing spree to EGM. That's a double kill for
This
both
should
of
be
the
GG
supports.
from there.
Dire's middle tower
All 5 are down. Bottom Rax is down. Bulldog rejoins, and there it is. Took him a little
That
longer.
was pretty good effort by EG, though.
Yeah. Took
They're holding up much better in this series than I expected them to.
Dire's
Yep.
top barracks. Alliance
making them work for it. Alliance, and again, most of the games they've won, for the most part, have been fairly short affairs so far. And EG pushing them not only to a Game 3, but pushing them at least a little bit later here in Game 2. 36 minutes. Time it took. Nice performances coming out from a number of players. MSS's Pugna I felt was pretty legit. Loda, 9-3 and 11, involved in 20 of Alliance's 27 kills. Not a bad showing from him. Uncharacteristically, the Nature's Prophet, played by Bulldog. Really, I mean, he had a small effect. I mean, his Necro book was nice. Deso certainly gave them some damage, let them push those last tier 3s a little bit. But really, the standout is Visage. Okay. Involved in 21 of the 27 kills Alliance tallied. Finished at 9-2, and S4 hit his RPs like you said. It's a breath of fresh air to see S4 play mag compared to other teams mag who usually like hang back and try to hold on to it. S4 will drop that hammer anytime he wants.
Yes, he will.
36 minutes, 3 seconds, the official game time, 27-15. The final kill score. We're going to a Game 3 here in our final best of 3 of the evening. Alliance and EG knotted at 1 apiece. I'm your host here in AC Chambers. Thanks again for being a part of the broadcast, guys. It will certainly be our last game of the night coming up. We're going to have 2 more coming up tomorrow. Those, make sure you follow here on twitch.tv/D2L. Merlini and I, the 2 voices you're hearing, and this is the unfortunate face you're seeing. And I was told I couldn't do the finger thing until I gave a vocal cue, so now I can do it twice to make up for it. Conrad, jerk. Anyway, thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. Do hit follow on at AC and at Merlini Dota. And sit tight. Just a couple of minutes. We'll have our thrilling 3rd game conclusion here on the HyperX D2L. We'll be right back.